Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today's episode is a little bit of a windy day in the van with the wood stove. So I've chose this quarry location. Basically, it's in an open pit. I wanted to get to a lake, but the snow is still too deep for the van. So we landed in this area. Unfortunately, it is so windy right now that I can't pitch the awning off the side of the van. Now, bonus is it's not raining, it's not snowing. There is a chance of it in the forecast, so hopefully we won't have to deal with any of that and I'll be able to just lounge outside without risking the awning getting ripped off from the high winds. So I've got the chimney through the roof all ready to go for the wood stove. It is quite cold out, so we're definitely gonna be rocking the diesel heater and the wood stove on this trip, as well as cooking probably off to the side or maybe out to the rear tailgate area. I do a little bit of cooking later this evening. So right now, I want to get a hot drink in me and start relaxing before doing too much work. So let's start on a hot coffee. All right, guys, it is windy and cold out there. So coming inside with a hot cup of coffee right here. Definitely enjoyable. So Boomer got his playing in. He's been running around like crazy. He purposely is not wearing his sweater or jacket right now, simply because he is all covered in mud. So he is a little cold right now. Gonna get him bundled up in the blanket, possibly put a sweater on. I'm gonna turn the diesel heater on for a little bit just to warm up the area. This way he could dry out and not be totally filthy with mud. So it's that time. He's usually really good at telling me when he's cold, and he just jumps right in the van, jumps inside of the sleeping bag, and that's his method of getting warm. So we're gonna kick back, enjoy some hot coffee, get nice and warm, and relax just for a little bit. And then we're going to carry on with the day. So let's get this diesel heater cranked on. All right, guys, we are definitely getting nice and warm inside of the van right now. Boomer is slowly starting to dry out. I've been tucking him under the blanket. He keeps crawling out, but that is working. The diesel heater vent is pointed up. We're getting loads of hot air in here. I can already feel the heat actually starting to build up here on the ceiling, and it's definitely a nice change of pace from the last few trips that we've been on. So last trip we were out on a frozen lake. We brought the fat bike and we did an open tarp camp. So I tipped the bike upside down, pitched the tarp over top of that, and we both crawled in there, had a really good night's sleep. The video before that we did actually on the same lake. We were out there. Instead we brought a tent. So definitely cold last two trips, so we're kind of spoiling ourselves on this trip, I should say, with the van. Got the wood stove, the diesel heater, and we're going to be enjoying both. So when I first left my house today, I had full plans on getting the awning on the van pitched outside, the 270 awning. I wanted to get that pitched. I wanted to do an outside fire and a whole bunch of fun things, and then the wind. So I got up in this location, the wind is just howling through there. So I don't think it's a good idea to put the awning out for obvious reasons. A campfire, I don't know, we'll see what happens later on. I do have the wood stove inside of here, which is definitely gonna get lit tonight. I've got a bunch of firewood stored underneath of the bed, both for the inside stove and possible outside fire. So I'm not sure, we'll see what happens. But right now that diesel heater is pumping out some serious heat. I've got it pointed upwards, and definitely going to be enjoying that. What I like to do is pull the sleeping bag over like that, and it traps the heat and it actually pulls it inside of the sleeping bag, which is what Boomer's been doing for the last few minutes here, just kind of warming up. So I'm going to kick back, relax just for a few moments, soak in some of this heat, enjoy my hot coffee, and take the day from there. We'll see what happens. All right, guys, just cut up a little bit of kindling here and some of this nice hardwood and softwood mix of logs. As mentioned earlier, I do have a lot of these compressed logs and compressed bricks, which are all natural wood. They just burn differently. They're very quiet when they burn, which sometimes is nice. But most of the time, I like the sound of the crackling campfire. So that's the reason why I brought a whole bunch of whole firewood, some of the softwood mix that's really going to snap and crackle nicely, and then some of this hardwood mix, which is going to burn really slow and hot and last quite a long time, as well as the bricks to help get the flames up in between. So it is going to be cold tonight. The wind is blowing directly in this way, so once we batten down the hatches later on tonight, it'll be definitely very, very warm. Got loads of firewood, so I got extra for tonight and for in the morning. So what I'm going to do is my wood store down underneath of the wood stove is totally full right now of those compressed logs and bricks. So I'm going to make a little pile over here right next to my fuel area. So I carry a jug of methyl hydrate with me. That's what this is. I use that for the alcohol stove. And this area is kind of where I put my shoes and boots. But for tonight, I think I'm just going to load it full of firewood. And then I'll have all kinds of room to move around. That way I don't have to trip over all this stuff. And it's inside and it's nice and dry. So I'm just going to get some of this put away, and then I am going to get out the scuttle and start cooking supper, because it is getting later in the evening and it is getting cold and windy, and I don't think that wind's going to stop. So might as well just carry on with the day, get some supper made up, and look forward to having some time inside of the van later on this evening, nice and warm and comfortable. Alright guys, just getting some stuff ready right now to start cooking supper. Before I get started, I want to explain what's going on here. So I did bring some beef steaks which are somewhat malleable, but they're basically frozen solid because they've been outside. I had the freezer bag in the front of the van, put it outside, put it back in, and well, during that time they froze. So I also have some vegetables which did not freeze because the liquid content in them isn't as much as the steak. So I have 3 steaks that I'm going to be cooking, and I have 2 different cooking methods. One, I'm going to be using the flat griddle, and 2, I'm going to be using the Skottel with the titanium wok, which is up inside of the van. And basically I'm going to be doing udon noodles with some stripped beef and some spinach, some onions, mushroom, all kinds of good stuff. And one of these steaks is going to go for Boomer with his dog food, so he'll have some protein as well. And the sunset is just starting right now, so you probably notice a lot of the light. It's windy, it's cloudy, it's nasty out here. I'm just trying to film in between the wind right now. That sun is looking pretty awesome though, so who knows, we might actually get a little bit of a sunset, but I'm gonna keep cooking away and get all this done, so later on this will all be cleaned up and then I can relax inside the van. So let's make a hot meal. All right, guys, supper is ready. 2 thumbs up, way up on this. This is super good. So a big old wok full of miso soup, udon noodles, beef, red pepper, onion, spinach, mushroom, you name it. This is packed full of flavor. Super, super good. So Boomer's already had his full steak to himself and some dog food. And I just gave him a piece of my steak. He's cut off now. He's had a ton of food. So I'm gonna kick back, relax, eat my supper while it's still hot. It is very cold out and the sunset's happening right now. So I'm gonna wrap this up and then get that wood stove cranked up. Cheers, guys. All right, guys, supper is all done with. Everything around camp is totally cleaned up. Wood stove is rocking out some heat. Boomer is already up in bed, but it isn't even evening time yet. It's still light out. There will be stars out tonight. Got a clear sky. Sunset's happening right now. So what I'm gonna do is probably shut one of these doors and basically be in and out of the van, checking out the sunset. Boomer can come in and out as he pleases. Let that wood stove do its thing. We've got loads of fuel to fuel that thing all night long. And then flick on the diesel heater first thing in the morning, get the van nice and warm again, and then load the wood stove up and have a nice fire all over again. So I'm gonna go enjoy this sunset and I'll catch up with you guys very soon. All right, guys, just making my way inside of the van now after the sunset. It is now nighttime. I've got the curtains front and rear totally shut. Guys, hear that wind out there? It is crazy howling with wind and bitter cold. So inside right now, I have not checked the temperature. My little temperature keychain here is not the greatest right now because I had the door open, so it's kind of cold, hot, cold, hot. I'll have a temperature probably, I don't know, about 20 minutes. We'll let that warm up to ambient temperature. Yeah, it is windy and cold outside. So there are no clouds in the sky, which means it's going to be full of stars up there later on this evening, which I'll probably enjoy when I poke my head out there every now and then. Boomer's super warm and comfortable. This wood stove is burning incredibly still and silent. Just listen to this. That is very, very, very quiet right now, which is awesome. I do enjoy that, but I much rather have some of this snapping, crackling softwood in there. So I'm going to be loading some of this in there later on just to get that full ambience of effect of the fire. While I'm in here, I might as well take you guys on a very, very quick tour. I like to do this every time I'm in here because I find I'm doing different things every time I take the van camping. So I'll give you guys a really, really quick look and kind of talk about a couple things, and then it's going to be lights out and time to relax. All right, so one of the new additions to the van, or I should say newer additions to the van, are these two baskets. They've been on here for quite a while realistically, but I know some new viewers have been asking what's the deal with these. So this is not my entire food store area. What I've been doing by habit is I've been putting coffee and like breakfast things in here. So you guys will notice that I do have a pair of leather gloves clicked to the basket. I also have two dangling lanterns that I use outside. This is just quick access. I can grab these, go outside, hang them on the awning or whatever I need to do. But I've been finding that by habit, what I've been doing is stocking this whole bottom shelf full of coffee and hot drinks. So I've got a bag of espresso. I've got a tin can of espresso. I've got some, what is this? Oh, I bought this for my wife. This is orange cappuccino. She really likes that, which is why it's still there, because she is home with the baby and she's not able to get out as often. So that'll be there for her when she does want to come out. I have some of these. These are French vanilla single creamers. So I usually drink black coffee, but every now and then I like these little single creamers. I get these at the dollar store. So I got a box in there. I do have a pack of ramen in there just because it fit nice and snug behind and it stopped this from rattling when I'm driving. And then up top, what I've done is basically breakfast stuff. So tomorrow I'm going to be doing oatmeal. I've got some dried strawberries and bananas up here. I also have a couple packs of regular oatmeal. This is coconut and chocolate. Just some oatmeal stuff, guys. And then I have some Indian mix stuff up here. There's these snacks. I like putting this in with rice, which is also up here. Another little bag of instant rice. I've got some onion soup. So just some basic stuff that I can just go to and grab. So coffee is always here. Breakfast stuff is always here, which is really nice to have. So that's that entire area. I did add an organizer on the back of the passenger seat. I'll give you guys a quick look at that as well. So over here behind the passenger seat, I've gone ahead and put one of these tactical organizers. I have one in my Ram and I also have one in the GMC, which works really, really well. It just helps organize all the little tiny things. So when you open up the door, there's stuff here. It's up off the floor. It's completely customizable. You can take these off, put them on, whatever you want to do, but haven't really found a home for things permanently. But what I've been doing is obviously water bottle here. I've got another bottle there. I have some ice anchor screws here. So I like using these out on the ice when I'm tent camping or tarp camping, which you guys have seen in previous episodes. These are in here for anchoring the lines to the awning, which we didn't get to use this trip again, unfortunately. And then up here, I've got a little bottle of alcohol fuel for the alcohol stove. I've got another bag of coffee, which is supposed to be in the door, but I added that box of creamer so it doesn't fit. So what I plan on doing with this is quick reach items that are like tools, necessities. So like jumper cables, these ice anchor screws, maybe a bottle of fuel, things like that that can just always stay in the vehicle, like a wrench, you know, basic tools, pliers, things like that, that I could just grab right on the fly that need to be in the van and camping related as well, like bottled water, whatever. So that's a little bit of an addition there. Everything else is basically, I think, stayed the same. Having a look all the way back here, this is actually something that people have been asking about. Where did I get this cargo net? So this is just an envelope style cargo net that's supposed to go in the back of SUVs. And it just, you know, you can reach in, throw some things in there, toss it off to the side. So what I've done is I put a hook up here and a hook right behind me so it can hang this way when I'm in here laying down. I like throwing a sweater in here. Right now I've got like mango, bag of rice, Boomer's pajamas are in here, his little dino suit. Just a couple things in here that I can quickly grab. But when I'm driving, I open the curtains obviously so I can see out the back windows. But I unclick that and I hook it onto the sidewall to another hook. And then it runs on the sidewall and I can kind of come in and out of the back door when I'm cooking or whatever. So that is definitely a useful piece of kit there. Over here in this little shelf unit that we built, I've just been keeping my slippers up there. Pajama pants, things of that nature, you know, quick reach items when you're in bed and you don't really want to get out. Keep that stuff there. I've got my head end up at this end. I like doing this when I'm burning the wood stove because I can see in the glass door and it's just a really, really nice vibe. But when I'm not using the wood stove, typically I'll put my head up at that end. That way I can reach in and out of that cubby without having to move. Super, super comfortable in here. It is very, very warm right now. I'm going to check the temperature in just a few minutes, but I got a feeling it's probably like 28 to 30 degrees Celsius right up here at the ceiling. That's the reason why we did a very tall elevated bed, is it wouldn't take a whole lot of heat to heat it. So I'm going to basically get changed out of these pants and the sweater, get these pajama pants on, get into something more comfortable and start enjoying this evening. All right, all changed into some nice comfortable lounge clothing. I've got my sweater hung up directly across from the wood stove, so that side of the door is all hooks. The reason for that is this stove throws a ton of heat straight out. So this shelf is actually not directly in front of the glass, it's more so that door. So the heat goes right for that door, which dries out wet clothing, wet shoes, wet pants. So what I like to do is hang my shoes right up on this hook because they are wet, and this will make sure that they're dry come morning time. And it works every single time. Just hang them like that. They're elevated up in the heat channel. They're right front, smack dab in front of that glass. They're going to be nice and dry come morning time. So it is definitely nice and comfortable in here. I am going to flick on the LED lights because I don't want to be burning a lot of power using these, even though these are very, very, very efficient. So I will let you guys know right now, running these two lights, I'm only outputting 7 watts with an estimated time of 104 hours, and my battery unit is at 59%. It is a 2000 watt unit. So I'm just going to plug in these two AC modules, which is going to burn a little bit more power because we're going to switch to AC. But that'll turn on the LED light strips in just one moment. I should come right on here. I do have the remote control for them as well, so probably grab that because I think the remote might actually be turned off. Yeah, so it was turned off from the last time. So we'll go with teal. We'll go with teal and we'll crank it right up to the brightest. Boom. Nice bright teal lights. Right now we're outputting 16 watts. So what I like to do in the evening is flick this off. Flick this off. That's our evening time vibe right there. Teal lights. Got these two lanterns on a warm glow, and usually just dim them down, shut one off usually when I'm watching a movie, but right now with the camera on, we'll keep it on. So this is basically going to be it. It's super comfortable in here. Boomer is already passed out asleep. The wood stove's burning really nicely. I've got it damped down to about 50%. And I'm basically going to start relaxing, guys. So I do have my little flexible arm mount that I don't think I've shown this in the last episode. I might have. But I mounted a new mount here. So basically, I just pop that in there. And now I could throw my phone on this and I could position it wherever I need to. Head in that end, head in that end, doesn't matter. I can hands-free watch movies. So that's what I'm going to be doing tonight. I brought my Bluetooth speaker. going to turn that on, hang it up on there, and it's a light as well, so that'll help light up that area. It just gives a really nice, cozy log cabin feel in here with all the wood grain, the light, the wood stove. Awesome. So I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to get the camera shut off, start relaxing, enjoying a movie, and I'll catch up with you guys first thing in the morning for some coffee. Good night, everybody. Good morning, everybody. It is a beautiful morning out here in the middle of nowheres. We've got the wood stove rocking. Boomer's got his breakfast over here, and I've got my hot coffee. Doors wide open, crisp, cold air with the slightest, very smallest bit of snow flurries. So last night it got crazy windy. The wind was just rocking the van back and forth, so I'm very happy I did not put that awning up. Not that it was needed anyways, but it got really windy and it got cold. So the wood stove was stoked up. I only went through 2 of those compressed logs because they burn very, very hot. And trying to regulate that is a little difficult when you're way up in the bed and you come down here and it's cold and it's hot and it's cold and it's hot. So what I did is I got out the stove fan and pointed it towards the bed, and I damped the stove down. Totally solved the problem. So I just popped this on top of there. It's activated by heat. It blows the air in the direction it's pointing. It's a fan, right? And that seemed to work really well. So I didn't have to go through a whole lot of wood, but I was burning this solid wood fuel that I chopped up yesterday. And this was crackling and spitting sparks and embers like a dream. It sounded amazing, and especially in here, it almost kind of like echoes off the walls. The acoustics are a little bit better than just outdoors. So that worked really well. The fan helped pump all the heat over there. So what I'm trying to say is I didn't need to burn a lot of fuel to stay warm, which was nice. I didn't have the diesel heater on until very early this morning, probably at about 6 a.m. I rolled over, turned that on, cranked it up on max, got the van nice and hot. Came down like the wood stove and shut that heater off. And now if you listen, nice and quiet. A little bit of rattling here and there from some of the gear on the racks and stuff, but other than that, you get this real cool vibe of like a chilled, crisp wind just rustling through the trees over the treetops, which is awesome. Just rolling hills of forest out here. It's an old logging road, so there are traffic that come in and out, like four-wheelers and recreational use people just like me. So not too terrible, but I have not seen a single person on this adventure yet, so that's awesome. So good morning, guys. Hot coffee on the go right now. Gonna chill out here for a moment, enjoy this, get that stove burned out, and then I think we're gonna get some shoes on, because right now I'm just wearing my slippers, and have a look around a little bit. So cheers, good morning. All right, so having a super lazy morning today. Up in the bed, relaxing, loads of heat up here. Just check my battery unit down there. I gotta check it again because I forget what it said. So we're at 48% battery life. We've got an estimated runtime of 33 hours. And right now I'm outputting 21 watts. The reason why it's so high is because I'm quick charging my cell phone. But what I want to take away from that, 48%. So I can't remember what I said it was yesterday. I want to say it was probably like 57. So we're down to 48%. I had all the lights on last night, all the overhead lights on, plus these lanterns I had on. I was kind of moving around. Plus I was running the AC inverter to light up the LED strip lights to just kind of move around the van and have a real nice cozy feel. So that's not bad. Honestly, that battery unit, it's a 2000 watt battery. They're all pretty much the same size when you get into that range. That one battery would last me no problem, like 4 trips. I could go out 4 nights and that would last no problem. So I'm really happy with that. That's going to be in my head going forward building the van. I am going to be putting probably 2 200 watt panels up on the roof, so 400 watts total. No lithium iron phosphate batteries are permanently installed in the van, so there will be leads to MC4 connectors hanging inside of here that I could just plug in to all the chargers to charge up all my 2000 watt battery units whenever I'm on the go, and help supplement a little bit of power here and there for devices and whatnot. But that's very, very good. One battery unit, only at 40 some percent left from last night, 48%. I'm very happy with that. And it got cold in here once the stove went out and the diesel heater was off. It did get quite cold in here till the morning, so very happy with that, guys. All right, everybody, I've got the wood stove totally burned out, the chimney pipe back inside, the roof capped off. Everything is ready to go. So I got to get these doors closed up, fire up the van, let it warm up. Boomer's going to chill out in the bed like he always does when we drive. He'll just go right back to sleep. And that's basically it for this adventure. So if you guys have any questions or comments, drop them down below. And be sure to check out the links in the description for a little bit more information and other videos. So until next time, peace out, guys. We'll see you in the next video.